Hi, this is Jamie Cullum. I like to collaborate, I would say 99.9% of the time for non-commercial reasons. So it's interesting having a hip-hop artist on Momentum, because I think people who don't necessarily understand the roots of music and how certain genres relate to other genres, they can think, oh, it's like a commercial move. Having an artist like Roots Maneuver on the album Momentum is there because it's through artists like him I discovered jazz, the way they sample jazz music and things like that. It takes you out of yourself and makes you look at your music in a different way, and sometimes that's really important. I think the biggest change on this album is really the album is made up mostly of my songs. It's a songwriter's album, this one, and on previous records I didn't think I had the guts to make my songs stand on their own 2 feet.
We're hand in hand, just a chance. Now we're face to face, 'cause I wanna take you away. Let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I just can't refuse it. Like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it.
And this time I thought if I don't let my own songs stand on their own, they'll never have enough of a chance when they're sitting alongside, you know, 3 songs by Cole Porter and a Jimi Hendrix song and a Radiohead song and all that other stuff I've covered. This is a songwriter's album, and I think I'm trying with my songs to write a little simpler, so there's less tricky chord changes, there's less obvious jazz in the influence of the songs.
Everything you did.
Everything you didn't do is more about a feeling like you didn't do everything already. Especially when you kind of turn a corner and you become an adult and you have kids. And you think, oh my God, I never did this, I never, you know, backpacked around the moon or whatever the thing you haven't done. And I think it's a false statement in a way, because really your world opens up even more as you get older and you get wiser and you get more understanding about the world. So really, of course, there are hundreds and hundreds of things that I haven't done, as everybody is the same, but really all the great things are still in front of you. It's just a positive statement, really. I think Everything You Didn't Do is an important statement for the album, but I think really it's about that understanding of becoming an adult. And of course I've been an adult for a long time, but I don't think you really understand, certainly I don't feel like I've understood the world in quite the way I do now until I had proper responsibilities. And I always thought that would be really imprisoning, but actually it's been kind of the opposite. Logistically, being a father has changed my way of working, like dramatically, like having to work at set times, and that's been great because actually I haven't thought so much as I've made stuff. I've just made stuff and moved on to the next thing, which has been really good. Having children makes you see the best of yourself, but also the worst of yourself. You experience everything more intensely, and that's really great for creativity, isn't it? You know, because you can be more honest. Yeah, she does. She doesn't listen to it. I really am allergic to hearing my music anywhere. She heard some of my music when I was working stuff out on the piano, and I was obviously listening to mixes in the car, and she seemed to like it. But if a song of mine comes on in a restaurant, I have to leave. I can't. It puts me off my food, you know. It's best that she's not entirely into my music. Some children's music's great, but I've made some great mixes that I think I played to her. So some Beatles, some White Stripes, some Björk, some Rolling Stones. So I think I've managed to find the kind of kid-friendly music that is okay for adults. It's tough when, you know, people often refer to my music as crossover, and the problem is with crossover music is it nearly always is music that I really don't like. Easy listening music, on the other hand, some of the greatest music made is easy listening music. Carole King, James Taylor, Stevie Wonder, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett. The list is endless of what you could say is easy listening music. I think easy listening to me is music that has this kind of inherent melodic quality. I love great melodies and I love great chords, but I think it obviously is easy to write off my music like that, and I really don't mind. But I think what I try to do my music is have this very appealing surface, but underneath there's always interesting things happening. Sadly, it's nearly always on stage, which is why there's quite a ramshackle quality to the gigs. But I quite like that. I made peace with that some time ago because I find it much harder to do a prescribed kind of show. And I think, in a way, my fans have come to expect that more kind of unhinged kind of vibe to it. I don't like being on TV as much. No, no, I think I prefer being on the radio, yeah. It's much more scripted and you're less free on television. And you have to comb your hair, and I'm not very good at that. It's an hour of jazz and the stuff that connects the dots to jazz. So I've played all classic jazz, and then sometimes I'll play the meter song that Beyonce sampled, and then I'll play the Beyonce song afterwards. It's my definition of that kind of jazz experience in the 21st century. It's fun. It's a really fun thing to do. It's hard work. The Love for Sale version is kind of quite a gritty song. You know, the original source material, the Cole Porter song, is, you know, written a long, long time ago, but very controversial still. And the video needed something that was interesting and a bit gritty. So I read a few treatments and I just honed in on this one that had a really great central idea, which was about this salesman that bought and sold human hearts. And we developed it, and it became this brilliant, dark little short film. It just felt more like a film than a music video, and I love that. So it was great. Plus I was hardly in it. Perfect.